You're listening to DruidCast episode 216. Hello my friends and welcome to DruidCast episode 216. I'm your host Dave the Bard and DruidCast is brought to you on or around the 20th of the month by the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. If you want to find out more about membership to the Order and our courses, you can do that at our website, which is at druidry.org. What an opening to the show. That was Skyhenge with Mountain Dance, a runic hymn for the Blue Ridge Mountains. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for sending that into the show. And remember that you can find links to all of the artists featured on DruidCast in the show notes. I've recently returned from a week with some fabulous people in Wisconsin at the Pagan Spirit Gathering. The location was the River Forest Campground and the entire camp was held within a forest. It was so magical to spend time there and the trees felt like a protective bubble all around us. Kerry gave 4 talks and I played an acoustic set under the trees and a plugged-in set on the main stage, and we were there with our good friend Christopher Hughes. The Pagan Spirit Gathering is one of the oldest pagan gatherings in the United States, and it's facilitated by Circle Sanctuary and the wonderful forces of nature that are Selena Fox and Dennis Carpenter. As well as the talks, there were other musicians there, and a couple of them found found space to sit down for a chat about their music. So 2 short interviews follow. The first is with Arthur Hines, who many of you regular listeners will already know from previous episodes of DruidCast. We talk about his path and his brand new album, The Sheaf of Riddles. And the second interview is with Black Willow Starling, a fantastic pagan duo, fairly new on the pagan music scene, but who have had the most amazing trajectory of their careers, already playing at this year's Paganicon and then at PSG. I love pagan musicians. Some of you out there, you might think we've got some kind of rivalry, but I have never felt that with any of the pagan musicians I've talked to over the years, and it was a pleasure to sit down and share some time with these wonderful people. After each interview, you will hear a song of theirs introduced by the musician themselves. So, as has become traditional to our right, my friends, grab that cuppa and enjoy the interviews with Arthur Hines and Black Willow Starling. Hello, Arthur.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
I'm very good. It is lovely to see you here.
I'm glad to be here. To be here. It's we're recording this at the end of PSG, and we're both looking a little bit draggled, and I mean that in a very loving way.
Thank you very much. I'm feeling a little bit draggled. Yeah. So you've been playing some sets here and stuff.
I had did an outdoor show and a main stage show, and gave a workshop about storytelling and chanting and. Just having a really good time.
Yeah, so I'm here with Arthur Hines, ladies and gentlemen of DruidCast, a regular on DruidCast on various songs and poems and a couple of interviews over the years.
Yeah.
But we're at PSG, it's the final day. We've just got one main ritual to run tonight. But what I want to talk to you about is your new album.
Sheaf of Riddles.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your journey.
So sheaf could be a gathering of wheat, grain. Could be the gathering of paper and binding a book. I will let the listener ponder what the meaning is for them.
Okay.
It is primarily a retelling of the first branch of the Mabinogi. And as much as I possibly could, I told it from the point of view of Rhiannon.
Right.
So purists of the story may tisk me a little bit here and there, because I gave both Quill and Rhiannon words that are not in the printed text. I know!
That's outrageous.
I know!
You would never catch me doing that.
So it starts off, I tell the first bit of the branch, the encounter between Quill and Araun, in verse. Mm-hmm. And it's the longest poem I've ever written. It's an epic poem. I don't know what else to call it. And I'm very proud of it. Rhiannon, doesn't obviously figure in that part of the tale. Mm. So I don't have her voice in it. But everything else, I really try to put her at the center of the story.
Right. And how much of the album is music, do you think, and how much is...
So there are 43 minutes worth of story. Mm-hmm. And 36 minutes worth of music.
So it's a packed old CD.
I'm 46 seconds shy of filling it.
Of filling the entire CD.
You can put 79 minutes of stuff on a CD, and I'm 46 seconds shy. And I thought I was even... we're going to let this thing go by.
Yeah. These are these golf trolleys that are like little Uber shuttles around the place.
So I had recorded a lot of music. And it was all almost ready to go, like 90 to 95% set, like just the final sanding. And I realized my story was 43 minutes long.
Yeah, right.
So I had to move 5 songs out, and then I discovered I thought it was like 44 minutes you had on a CD. It was 49 minutes. I was going to bring one of them back. So I already have 4 songs recorded for the next CD.
Right.
So we're good there.
So what's the, this feels like a labour of love, like my Mabinogi albums, What's your connection and How's the love of the Mabinogi?
The Mabinogi is the center part of my spiritual path. I started Wicca in the late 80s, and the coven that I was trained in was a Welsh Wiccan coven. And so we began studying the Mabinogi and finding the mysteries therein, and learning to love and understand the gods and the goddesses. Fully realizing that the Mabinogi was written down in a very patriarchal time, and written down from a Christian point of view. And so knowing that you have to look through the words as a veil to the truth that lies beyond it. And Rhiannon has always been big for me. She does indeed embody the triple goddess in ways that nobody else does in the Celtic lore. She's not three goddesses, she's one goddess. She happens to be all three, maiden, mother, and crone. And so she called to me, and she and Cadwyn are the main troublemakers in my poetic life. Just like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
And I had actually owe an apology to Cadwyn, because I was lying in bed, taking a nap, and she basically told me, you have to get him to do that song. I didn't have a song that she was talking about. I don't know what she was talking about. There was a little chant that she was talking about. It is a protest song. It's called Protect Yourself. And so I wrote it and recorded it, and I released it. You can go get Protect Yourself on Bandcamp right now.
Okay.
I actually have a version that's a little more finished than that, but sadly, I had to leave it off of Sheaf of Riddles. I just didn't have room.
So is it going to be a single on the next album?
Well, it's a single right now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to slightly remix it and remaster it, and it'll be on the next album. But right now, you can get an early mix as a single.
Yeah.
I tried. It was so hard to decide which songs to keep and which songs to pass. It was really hard. So I had to, first and foremost, songs that applied to the story had to stay. And so I shoved them all. That's how I did it. And then when I was able to bring a song back, I just brought back a song I really love. It's a happy, bright, reach out and hug your neighbor kind of song called Some Days.
Brilliant. So the Mabinogi has got many characters in it, hasn't it?
It does.
The first branch is an amazing tale. You've spoken about Rhiannon.
Yep.
And do you have a relationship? How's your relationship with Araun, for instance, the Lord of Annwn? Or maybe, how do you feel about Annwn? What is Annwn or Annúvan to yourself?
So, it is not hell.
No.
It is not a place of destitution or punishment. It is a place of oscillation. You can decide which one is peak and which one is nadir, but we oscillate between the two, between what we call reality and that thing we call Annúvan.
Yeah.
And he is the Lord of Annúvan and the guide to back and forth, and he sings the songs that guide you there.
Yeah. And the Mabinogi first branch is spoken word. Is there any music within that you're telling?
So what I've done, there are set pieces in it. I soundtracked the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I soundtracked it. And as a matter of fact, so here's an interesting. There's a penny whistle motif that shows in the background whenever Rhiannon makes an appearance. I had lined up some people to help me add some instrumentation to the songs. And one of them was going to do lead guitar for me. And like at 2 a.m. one night said, I'm sorry, man, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I got out of bed and went upstairs. And I do not play penny whistle, but I play a keyboard. Mm-hmm. And I played the MIDI penny whistle on my keyboard.
Yeah.
And I took that motif that I had written for the stories and brought it into that song and filled a penny whistle solo in the middle of it.
Yep.
And it drew it in. And it's originally, it's called Poetry of Wonder, which I originally recorded 18 years ago.
Yes.
But it was placed in this tale. Mm-hmm. It is about Pwyll and Rhiannon.
Yeah.
And so I really thought it belonged here. And especially after I just manifested it in this story with the bringing in of the soundtrack bits, it had to stay.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your...
And then the songs, so there's a straight up song called Rhiannon. There's a straight up song called Ride the Mare, which is about the punishment of Rhiannon. And they apply, and there's this song called Mother Moon that Pwilch sings when he's waiting for the year before he gets to hopefully get married to Rhiannon, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So the songs do soundtrack the story pretty much.
Yeah. What's your creative process? Is it music first or lyrics first?
Yes.
What?
So I would say, first off, I always have a beat in my head.
Okay.
Some kind of beat always. The fact that I'm not going all the time is a large amount of self-control on my part.
Yeah.
And if I can just let loose with a jazz tune out loud, for as long as we want to. And I can do that in different styles, and I can make it sound Italian or Japanese or whatever. But these days, lyrics generally come first.
Okay.
Very often I will write a poem. I write a lot of poetry. And not all the poetry becomes songs. But a lot of it does.
Yeah, some of it goes on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
on your Facebook.
Yeah, and actually, so the song that I really like that's a happy-go-lucky thing is called Some Days. That started off as a single stanza, just a poem on Facebook. That it just came to me. It's like, some days it's a fine line between living long and dying. Some days it's a fine line between laughing long and crying. And that's just what it started. And I just put it up there because I felt like there were a lot of people struggling. And that song came into 3 stanzas, and then all of a sudden there was a chorus and there were verses and it was a song.
Yeah, right.
Other times I have lyrics that rest for years unloved, and they'll pop up, or I'll have a guitar riff that I just play for weeks and don't know what the hell to do with. And I feel like, okay, this guitar riff, I really like this guitar riff. It should have words. What are the words? I don't know.
No. Tell me what the words are, guitar riff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'll go downstairs and I'll play this melody, and I've got the melody. I can sing over the top of it.
Yeah.
And I play the guitar. I said, "What's this remind you of?" And and that reminder would go, "Oh, that's what this song is about." It's how you make.
Yeah. Well, on Mother Moon, I needed a bridge, and I heard the tune in my head for the bridge. So, la da la la da 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 da. I actually recorded the song that way.
Yeah, right.
Because I didn't know what it was going to be. Then I wrote the words to the bridge, and I took that out and put the words in. But
right, gotcha.
I recorded it with just a placeholder, me going la da da da. although watching you do it, I said, man, I didn't have to worry about the words. I could have just gone la da la da, and like the crowd would have sung along.
I like a na-na. You can't go wrong with a good na-na.
Now, I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in that first part that I talked about, the first bit of the first branch with the meeting of Clay and Pwilch and Araun, I had a guest artist step in. Yes, I did.
Really?
I did. I had a guest artist come in and do one of the voices.
Shocking.
Yes. So if you buy the CD, or I suspect it may be one of those things that Dave will play at some point, you may hear a familiar voice as Havgan being on the recording.
Yeah. So if there was one song on the album that you would like me to play to the listeners right now, I'll probably play some more at future, which song would that be?
I think I'd like to have them hear Rhiannon.
Okay. Any reason why? Apart from the royalties we've just discussed.
This is her album.
Yeah.
This is her album.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty proud of it. I really like the song a lot. I play electric guitar on it.
Right.
And I am not a lead guitarist, so I know when to ask for help. And Brian Henke played lead guitar for me on it.
Oh, well,
I think you'll enjoy it.
I want to hear that too.
Yeah.
Well, we knew each other for a number of years before we met in 2010.
Yep.
And we've been hanging out at various festivals and out each other's houses.
We're very much alike, except you talk funny.
But thank you, Arthur. Thank you for being on DruidCast and for being an inspiration.
Well, thank you, and same to you.
Yeah, blessed be.
Blessed be.
upon the wind. She rides the morning, and through my mind she makes the fog clear. Holds about the flame, she rides on burning. In my core, she does back feel. Rihanna carries me with the moon. She keeps me faithful through the night. I feel her hands on my shoulders, and in my heart she shines her light. She gives me strength, she takes my fear to stand up, fight on. I'd rather wipe that through my life. Rihanna, Rihanna, Rihanna. Holds across the sea, she rides on singing, and round my heart she calls love to hear. Holds along the stone, she rides on bending, by my hands she makes dreams real. Rihanna carries me with the moon, she keeps me stable through the night. I feel her hands on my shoulders, and in my heart she shines her light. She gives me strength, takes my fear to stand up and fight on. I'd rather wipe it through my life. Rihanna, Rihanna, Rihanna. Within the light, she rides in balance, and with my soul she sends a call. Holds across the sky, she rides with justice. With my voice she changes all. Rihanna carries me with the moon and keeps me safe all through the night. I feel her hands on my shoulders, and in my heart she shines her light. She gives me strength, she takes my fear to stand up and fight on. I'd rather wipe it through my life. Rihanna, Rihanna.
Right, well, in the background you can hear a road. We're a little close to a road, and you can also probably hear the wind through this forest trees and nattering next door. But I am in the tent with Black Willow Starling. So why don't you introduce yourself first to the people of DruidCast?
My name is Nora, and I'm the vocalist for Black Willow Starling.
Okay, right.
And my name's Michael. I also do vocals in Black Willow Starling, but I play a variety of instruments as well within the band.
I have seen these variety of instruments.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about the band, how it was formed, how long you've been working together, that kind of thing.
Well, Nora and I have personally known each other since the early 90s.
Right.
And we were kids running around sort of the same sort of rock clubs in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. Black Willow Starling has really only been in existence since we've determined to be February 13th of 24.
Wow.
Now, we had loose ideas in our heads about what the band could be, would be, but we consider that to be our birth date.
Right.
We were offered to play at PSG in 2024, and we played music together, but this was a different sort of a thing, and so we decided we needed to birth something new.
Yeah.
And so a set list and a new name. And
Where did the name come
rebranding.
from? Where did the name Black Willow Starling come from?
Well, we sort of made a list. I kind of say it's like when we first got our cat. We came up with a list of however many names. What do we want to name our cat? We're going to name our cat Zucchini, Potato, or Boots.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we knew that we wanted the name to involve a couple different things, but all revolving around living things within the natural world. We started going over, okay, fish, no, mammal, no, something with a bird, that yes, what kind of bird? Owl, raven, a lot of owls and ravens out there. We wanted something that sort of separated ourselves from maybe the cultural norm, if that's the phrase.
Yeah.
So that was one part of it. You can talk about the Black Willow part.
Yeah, we came up with words we liked. We like words.
Yeah.
And we pieced it together, and it just so happens that there are starlings in Wisconsin, and there are Black Willow in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So
it comes from the land, maybe.
it does.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And when it clicked, boy, it clicked.
It really did click, because if you only formed in 2024 and went straight to PSG, your trajectory has gone like that. Because didn't you do Pacanicon as well?
We did Pagan, yes.
And like that's and your performance like the other night was, it was polished. It was great. It was like watching a steel eye span. It was fantastic. And so you had a drummer. And was it a bass? No, the drummer played the bass, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, because I saw him sitting behind the drums playing bass.
Yeah.
But he did, and the fiddle player.
And a fiddler.
Yeah. So are they in the band all the time, or do they?
Well, the drummer, our good buddy Lyle, he is one that actually recorded and engineered the record.
Right.
And he works with me in another project. Same thing with Peter on fiddle. Peter did not play on the record, but he learned our set. And when we first started talking about PSG for this year, we were talking with Messina and the organizer and say, hey, we have a pretty good 4-piece that we could bring up for the main stage, and just have Nora and I for the acoustic stage. And they went with the idea, and we got our set list together, and that all came together fairly quickly too. 4 rehearsals or something like that.
Yeah.
And we got it all together. But it was helpful to have Lyle being a part of the record to begin with, because he knew the material and was familiar with how we play.
And
We had discussed, Mike and I had discussed that the two of us are the core of the band.
Yeah.
But we'd be more than happy to bring people in and out and around and work with a number of people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like an Indigo Girls sort of thing. There's the Indigo Girls, and then there's a touring band that might be with the Indigo Girls.
Yeah. Or 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
There's Trent Reznor, and then there's the touring band.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to change my stage clothes.
And your songs there, you do traditional folk music.
We do.
I heard All Around My Hat. I heard Matty Groves the other night. I was singing my heart out in the audience to those two. But you also write, self-penned songs. Do you write together? Do you write individually? How's it work with that, the creative side?
We generally write, we start off individually and then come together with, I have this idea. And I generally work with melody and words first. And then I will present that to Mike. And we'll decide together then on a key and an instrumentation based on what we both feel is appropriate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing that I think that we both take to heart is that our voices are our main instruments. I may play whatever on whatever track, but we have to find out within the song where both of us live vocally. So I can name at least 3 or 4 tracks off of the debut CD, which may have started in a particular key. We listen back and we're like, no, let's move that up a step. How about even another half step? No, let's drop this one a full step. Where do our voices live within the song? Because Nora can hit some pretty good highs and I can hit some really low lows, but you don't want to have so much of a bookend. You got to have something that fills some middle ground space, just sonically speaking. So that's one of the fun things. That's the challenge. Or even what sort of instruments are we playing on? Is it guitar? Is it octave mandolin? Is it mandola? Is it ukulele? It's like trying to go back and forth and seeing what song actually fits, the sonic sphere of the tune.
Yeah. And so you've done a plugged dancing set, on the main stage, and then you did a harmony hollow acoustic set. That was just the two of you, right?
Yes, it was.
And so, one of my benchmarks of a song is that if it doesn't engage people with just my voice and the instrument, and if it needs all of the the extra instruments, then it's not a good song at the moment. And obviously I can hear that your songs can be stripped down to the basic core and still hold people, still entertain people, that kind of thing. It's a similar thing. What comes first, the music or the lyrics for you guys?
Well, we both write lyrics.
Yeah.
But we also both give each other rights to edit each other's lyrics.
Okay.
And there's one song, The Wild Maiden, that we finished that song while the eclipse was rolling through. Last year, we were in southern Indiana right before the eclipse hit, and we started getting these last little bits down, and I had the lion's share of them, but I gave it to Nora. Nora, let's take a look at this, or we're working on a new one that we just did down in the Hollow, and she said, hey, I'm working on these 2 lines. What do you think? We give each other rights to do that and look at it.
Yeah.
Or if I'm playing around with a certain key and I'm like, hey, I think your voice sounds really good in this key. She might say, okay, for now, but let's live with it. And, where is it placed within a set list? And we've done songs that might migrate from A to B flat, depending on the night. And as long as we have our starter notes, we understand where we're at, we're good.
Yeah.
But that's the advantage that we have of working with each other and kind of knowing each other for as long as what we do.
Sure.
We know each other, how we can kind of work and tweak.
When did you start playing stringed instruments?
Stringed instruments?
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
I didn't seriously start playing guitar until I was in my early 20s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I only started playing guitar because I had to. I was a singer in a band, and we did not have a reliable guitar player. And I decided I'm going to have to do this, otherwise it's not going to be done to my liking.
Yeah.
But I've been playing music and performing since I've been 5.
Yeah.
My first gig I was 5.
Yeah, okay. And your voice, I mean, we've already had this discussion, but I said you enunciate your vocals with a really, a British You don't sound like you're singing with an American accent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was fascinating to me.
Ah.
A tiny bit embarrassing.
Oh.
Because there's a fine line between admiration and emulation.
Oh, right. Well, no, I was spellbound by it, because
thank
yeah.
you for saying that.
Yeah.
It made me a bit self-conscious.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Oh.
No,
In a
it's
good
good.
way,
It gives me pause to think.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And am I doing things justice?
Yeah, no, you definitely are.
Okay.
And that's why I heard in Suji's voice at PSG years ago, and I listened and I was hearing her sing like that as well. And it was in the audience then that I decided you're my Rhiannon for the Mabinogis, because I thought that's the voice I was looking for for her voice.
Yes.
And I thought, how can I ask her to be part of the Mabinogis?
Oh, that's great.
Because it's got a beautiful purity to it, and really, really love your voice. So are you trained in
Yes, I studied classical. I had classical voice lessons.
Oh, there we go.
For a long time. I always, wanted to sing when I was a child. I painfully shy. Didn't sing.
Yeah.
Got into a rock band when I was about 19 years old. And then after that, I thought, well, I better try to learn what I'm doing here. So I took some classical voice lessons, and it was a joyful experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely adored the lessons.
And that's
that's
where it comes from. Yeah. So I want to play some of your music on the show.
Yes.
Which song would you like me to play on the show?
Well, I think we're going with Sun King for that. And we've said this in other spots that when we first started doing the track listing for the record, in my mind, it was a no-brainer to start the album with Sun King.
Yeah.
We come from a background of rock, metal, and even more extreme, and maybe some darker places. But for this project, and especially for the debut record, we wanted to begin the album joyfully, positively. And once we started hearing the tracks in full, for me, hands down, slam dunk, no question, we're starting the album with Sun King.
Lovely. All right. Well, here is Sun King.
Solstice morning to fill my eyes with bright sunlight. Breathe the spirit of the land's new warming. Bless my soul and spirit bright. A grateful heart sinks to the earth and all the creatures all around. Blessed on the solstice morning, magic of the sun abound. Sun King, taking flight and taking wing. The sun's full power soaking in, energize. Feed the trees, the grass and flowers, revel in the deep blue skies. Mary, meet the solar wisdom, inspiration, everyone, illuminating day and night, for moonlight hails first from the sun. The Sun King, taking flight and taking bright sunlight. Breathe the spirit of the land's new warming. Bless my soul and spirit bright. which we sing. Sun King, taking flight, taking wing. Sun King, the merry one of which we sing. The merry one of which we sing.
Such wonderful people, and what an incredible week experience it was at PSG. If you can get to a pagan spirit gathering, just do it. It is fantastic. The owners of the campground were lovely too, so here's hoping that PSG will be at the River Forest campground for some years to come. But we can't leave these musicians there. So let's have another couple of songs, starting with the classic All Around My Hat by Black Willow Starling, and then it'll be story time with a poetic version of the first branch of the Mabinogi from Arthur Hines' new album, Sheaf of Riddles. Enjoy.
All around my hat I will wear the green willow, and all around my hat for a 12-month and a day. If anyone should ask me the reason why I'm wearing it, well, it's all for my true love who's far, far away. Fare thee well, cold winter, and fare thee well, cold frost. Nothing have I gained but my own true love I've lost. I'll sing and be merry on occasion I do see he's a false, deluding young man. Let him go and very well he. The other night he brought me a fine diamond ring, but he thought to have deprived me of far better thing. I, being careful like lovers ought to be, he's a false, deluding young man. Let him go, very well he. All around my hat I will wear the green willow, and all around my hat for a 12-month and a day. If anyone should ask me the reason why I'm wearing it, well, it's all for my true love who's far, far away. Here's a half a pound of reasons and a quarter pound of sense, a small sprig of time and as much of prudence. Mix them all together, you will plainly see he's a false, deluding young man. Let him go, very well he. He'll charm you with his blue eyes and a voice so dark and deep, beguile you in those Levi's, but you will surely see his schedule is atrocious. He's got no time for me. He's a false, deluding young man. Let him go, very well he. And all around my hat I will wear the green willow, farewell he.
My hounds and I were out a-hunting. I was bored and needed sport. A stag appeared, and my dogs confronting, the deer fled into a fairy fort. And so I rode into a clearing, chasing a stag I'd barely seen. My hounds howling, barely hearing. I trailed them panting through the green.
Door opens, door closes.
Then I saw him. In the fading sunlight dappled all in gray, horse and man in twilight shading, piercing eyes held me at bay. On the stag my hounds were feeding, and all around them wove his team, moon-hued, red-eared, as if bleeding, his hounds waiting, unredeemed. "Sir, how dare you," his voice rumbled, "have your dog steal my hounds' kill? Who are you who cruelly stumbled, trampling honor as you will?" "I am Pwylch, and beg your mercy. And who are you that I've offended? I would clear this controversy and see all my dishonor ended. King I am named from where I hail, and there Araun is my name." My heart skipped, my arms felt frail, for I knew his dire fame. The king of Arun stood before me, king of the grey world in the flesh, frightening one of song and story, so I gave apologies fresh. "What can I do to regain favor, erasing all my hound's regret?" He said, "Sir, you must not waver. Only this will clear your debt. You will take my place in battle at the full height of the sun, ignoring all your foeman's prattle of killing blows, give not one. Then after all the happy cheering, then your honor all restored, then return here to this clearing, then go back to your life, my lord." He uttered then a charm of faces, one on me and on him as well. "Let us take each other's places. No one there will doubt the spell." Thus we parted from each other, trading kingdoms, keeping souls. Many days and then another, I sat his throne and played his role. His land was splendid, full of glory, full of riches, full of heart. Araun's castle was one of story. I did my best to act his part. His queen was a woman like no other. My heart was tested almost to fail. I could not tell her I was another, and not her husband across the veil. I dare not break Araun's trust. For a year in bed I faced the wall. For a year I lied and did what I must to keep her virtue and honor all. Then the sun marched toward full power. Then I armored and donned my sword. Then I marked the appointed hour, meeting his foeman at the ford. Across the ford I faced his rival.
Havgan is my name,
He said,
and if you value your survival, then shed Araun and flee to bed. You gain no profit in our quarrel, yet wear his face and do his task.
I said, I stand here not for laurels, but honor-bound, I refuse your ask.
So be it.
Drawing swords with shields at ready, Havgan yelled and began the fight. Thrust and slash, chaotic and steady, fighting hours toward the night. At last I swung the final sword blow. Blood and bone and armor cleaved. Though Havgan begged for mercy bestowed, a slow certain death was all he received.
Please.
All Havgan's men now stood before me. now bereft of former lord. Now kneel before me swearing fealty, all that failed be compelled by sword.
At last my honor debt full ended.
In the clearing I sped in race, and there stood Araun, dark and splendid, waiting, wearing my own face. Well, he said, our pact concluded. You are free to lie in your own bed. I hope you'll find I was well suited to rule your chiefdom in your stead. A gesture made and words loud spoken, my face returned, his face as well. The charm of a year now was all broken.
And yet still I felt a lingering spell.
Door opens, door closes.
Returning home, adventures halted. Prosperity flowed over what he'd held, with harvest saved and textures vaulted. Araun's rule over mine excelled.
Some call me now a chief of Anun, but I was never a real lord of that land. I bow in homage for Araun's boon, and seek to match his good command. The day I rode into that clearing, chasing a stag I had barely seen, forever altered my life steering, with thanks to Araun and his gracious queen.
Well, my friends, this music means we're approaching the end of the show, but before I go, let's have the results of last month's competition. We had 2 copies of the Phoenix CD Keeper of the Flame to give away, and the question I asked was, in which ancient mythology did the legend of the Phoenix originate? Well, look, the answer to this one, well, it had some of you in a right old pickle, let's put it that way. Was it ancient Egypt? Was it ancient Greece? Look, this is not a mountain I plan to die on, so I will accept either of those answers. We have 2 winners this month too, so they are John Davis of North Yorkshire and Tim Andrews from Bristol. Congratulations, those CDs will be with you very soon. There are 2 prizes this month, a copy of Arthur Hines' new album Sheaf of Riddles and Black Willow Starling's self-titled CD. And the question I'd like you to answer is, in the story of the first branch of the Mabinogi told by Arthur Hines, what is the name of the otherworldly hunter which meets within the forest? In the story of the first branch of the Mabinogi told by Arthur Hines, what is the name of the otherworldly hunter which meets within the forest? Email your answer along with your full postal address to podcast@druidry.org, and one of you will win both of those CDs. Well, my friends, that is a show. I will see you next month for DruidCast episode 217. But until then, I wish you all peace and blessed be. Goodbye.